Hey guys, in the years past, I've not been a huge headlamp person, but more recently, you guys have kind of said, hey, start reviewing them. I've started to get into them and I am finding them absolutely priceless. Now I have 3 of them here today that range from $29.99 all the way up to $89.99. We're gonna go through these 3, show you the different benefits of each and what you're getting, what you're actually paying for at some point, and maybe you'll walk away really wanting one of these. Stick with us. So to start out, I have a ThruNite JR H01 and nice little light, $29.99. I have an Olight Perun Mini. This is super nice, in my opinion. It's more expensive though at $69.99 plus $5.95 for the headband, but this is a little more tactical, different usage, has Velcro. We'll go over that one. And then we have the Perun 2, which to me is like the Cadillac of it. It's a little bit larger, but actually you don't notice it as much. This guy here, total package, $89.99. They all have something in common. They are all basically a 6-mode light. So if you push and hold, you're gonna get the Firefly mode. If you go push again, you're gonna get low, medium, high. And then if you double tap, you're gonna get turbo. And then if you triple tap, you're gonna get an SOS mode. That's gonna happen on every single light across the board. Each one of these is all IPX rated, 2 meters underwater, no issue, 1.5 meter drop, which is great because you drop it from your head, again, works. If you wanna remove any of these from their holster, they will all stand up on metal right across the board, including the ThruNite without any issue. From there, each one of them has a lot of different features that are well worth talking about. So let's come in and look at each one. All right, let's start out here with the ThruNite. That is the least expensive. This is the JR H01. This is 687 lumens on turbo. So it's still pretty bright, 91 meter throw. Inside, it has a 650 milliamp 16340 battery. So that's a 0.6 amp hour small battery. Although runtime on this has been pretty good. We don't use it on turbo. It's mostly used on medium or high because it is still pretty bright. You have a USB micro charger here, which works nice. It has on top blue lights that let you know, and they're also red if it's charging or if it is charged. Works good. This band that goes around it is very comfortable. It's silicone that's in here, so you use this to adjust it and fits nice. The one thing that this light is sensitive to is if I hold this and just back it off as if it was opened a little bit, the light doesn't work. So even if, yeah, you're close, you can see if it's tight, but if I back it off just 30 seconds, it doesn't work or it's not happy. It needs to be on tight. That's the one nuance I've found with this light, but I will say that throughout our uses, this light is grabbed onto first because it's the smallest, mostly, and it's the easiest to throw on, and it's probably one of the more comfortable ones as far as being small. It works excellent. I'll show you more on how it works at night. This dude here is the Olight Perun Mini. This is a higher, more expensive light because of what it has. $64.95 for the light. And mostly what you're paying for here, I think, is this patch that allows you to put this on a backpack or on a jacket, on your suit. A little bit more tactical. It moves up and down very easily where you're not using it inside of a silicone piece. So if you want to adjust it, you can adjust it very quickly. You have the MCC charger that goes on the bottom, simple magnetic charger that goes on here. Taking this guy apart, this has a smaller battery, which is a 550 milliamp 16340. But with that said, this has 1,000 lumens, 100 meters of throw, so it is a little bit more powerful than the ThruNite, especially in lumens, but as far as throw, it's not, and you wouldn't expect it. Again, same exact stuff to go through. bright. On turbo, this sucker is super bright. Now, the biggest issue or anything I've had with this is probably that it is tactical, and you do have this Velcro on back, and it does Velcro to your headlamp. So unless you get this Velcro kind of a little bit lower than usual, if you're wearing this up against your forehead, you can get to a point where you'll feel this Velcro not overly comfortable, but 99.9% of the time you'll never even know that that larger patch is up there. To me, this works excellent for someone who has some sort of Velcro on them somewhere where they can use this light, pull it out, stick it on something, and move on. It is more expensive, and it's hard to justify the difference between this $29.99 and the $64 for what you're getting unless you're going to use this patch more. So from there we go to the Cadillac. This is the Perun 2. $89.95. Now, same thing, everything works with this button on top. Now, the cool part about this light is that it has a proximity sensor in it. Now, before I actually go through that, I'm going to hope to show you, it's right up here. Hopefully you can see that. So when we turn it on, and we start, let's say on turbo, and we want to read something, you see how it dimmed down there so we could actually read it? I pull it back, it gets brighter, come in, dim. And if it was thrown in a bag while it was on, and that proximity sensor noticed it was on, and it was on for more than a minute, it'll turn the flashlight off. So it's kind of a safety issue too for keeping this on. This dude has a 21700 battery that is 4,000 milliamp hours. So 4 amp hour battery, 21700, lasts forever, and it is 2500 lumens with 166 meter throw. So hunting wise, this thing rocks if you're outside, even if you're indoors, because you can turn this on Firefly, it works great. Low has been our walking setting. Once I get there, we can do medium, but it starts to get bright. High is super bright, especially if you're with someone else. And then turbo is just insane, but it works excellent for multiple different situations, especially outdoors or at work. Now also you have some strips along here that are high vis, so if anybody shines a light on them, you can see them. This top piece works well, but it will also come off if you found you didn't want to wear it. Just one of those things. Also a silicone casing, so you use the silicone, the tension in here to adjust this. 3 great lights, 3 different situations completely. 100% they are not going to fit for everyone. Most people who aren't using much of anything other than maybe walking their dog at night or small projects in a vehicle are going to want the smallest and the cheapest. But if you're going to use this in a tactical thing, like if you're a police officer or you have Velcro or military on you somewhere, you might go for something that is more middle but still very powerful. And then if you want something for hunting, camping, long run times, walks in the woods, things around that nature, or the job site with a little bit more on it, something you can wear and be comfortable. And let me tell you, this thing is way more comfortable than what you'd think for its size. Here's where you're going to want to end up. Let's come out and talk about these a little bit more. Currently wearing the ThruNite JR H01, $29. And if I go through the modes here, that's going to be low, medium, high, turbo, which is super bright. And then if I wanted to go to the Firefly, which is really great for reading or something that is close, right? That's medium is great for walking, as I said on this light. And I tried to get a lot of video of us out walking in it. It just didn't work out that well because the light is close to you, or if you're pushing it out farther and then you move your head, it's just awkward. So this is what I'm thinking is the best thing to do. If we look up here and I pop into turbo, this is super bright for looking forward. But this light is really comfortable. So if I keep this on, I switch over, and then I'll switch over to the Olight. I have the Olight on. This also is way more comfortable than what you'd think. The material is a little softer. It's you don't notice that it's there as much because of the way it's mounted. You can move it up and down easily. If we bop this on turbo, super bright. Again, firefly mode. Oops, got out of it. Firefly mode is going to be more for reading. Low, medium, high. Low, medium, high, turbo. So again, medium on this one really worked well for moving around and walking and looking at things. And I'm going to try not to look at the camera because that's pretty bad. But if I just drop on the Perun, so we got a light. This is the Perun 2. This guy is a little bit larger, but still probably one of the more comfortable out of everything that's here and very adjustable. If I pop this on turbo, you can see the significant amount of light that's thrown here compared to everything else. I mean, a ton of lumens, lights up the whole shop, especially if I back up. It is just awesome as far as light. It's turning it off. Let's go through the modes. So there's low, medium, high. I'm gonna turn it off. Here's our firefly mode. Firefly mode on this is a little bit more bright, but it's not too bright as far as anything. Again, you can use that proximity sensor and it'll figure out the brightness that you should have. Go from there to turbo. And this thing is just intense. So if you were working on anything, HVAC, whatever, mechanics, this light is going to last you a long time and you're going to be able to pick that mode out that works for you. Even low it's not bad. So out of all of them, this is by far my favorite. Let's get into some of the nuances that you'll find with these lights over some time of use. First, the ThruNite JR, I believe, H01 is the JR. First, on this one, I always feel like I have to look exactly where it's at so that I get it put on and I have to adjust it each time. Then when I turn it on, I'm going to turn it on firefly mode there. I always have to make sure that it's on, and I didn't use that cap to adjust it and where it would turn itself off accidentally, or I'm pushing the button and it won't turn on. I mentioned that earlier. This thing is very sensitive as being fully tightened. So, and you have to kind of, if you use it and don't have it tightened and you just use the head to move it and you don't use both sides, it will turn itself off. It gets a little annoying. The headband is nice, it's soft, it's made with good material. It's not as soft as some of the other ones, but for $29.99, this is a deal. And 99% of the time, this light is picked up by someone in my family or myself because it's the easiest. Now, what I dislike about it is the fact of plugging it into a USB micro. That's one of those, you gotta get it the right way. But other than that, everything about this light, I love. If it was USB-C, I would be like, yes, this is where it's at. It's the right price, it's the right brightness, it works great. I've went on 2-hour walks with it, absolutely no issue, comfortable. So it works. The Olight Perun Mini. This is an interesting one because when I initially got it, so now I want to have this right because I have the band slightly lower. So I always have to put it on to make sure that the patch doesn't have a ton of Velcro on the bottom, because if I keep it low on my head, I'll actually feel that Velcro. If it's a little bit higher, I don't feel any of the Velcro. But as far as comfortable wise, this band is super comfortable and you hardly know you have a patch up here. And as far as adjusting it, there's that firefly again, it's easy to adjust. There's no silicone to work around, it's just right there. It fits. If you had a jacket with a patch on it or something like that, or if you have, what I'm gonna use this for a lot is a duffel bag that I carry while I'm out hunting. It's got a little Velcro patch on it that this sticks to. Awesome. That's great. It just seems to just fit right in that situation. And this headband seems like an afterthought, but it works. Mostly, I really wish they would have just taken this headband and taken this plastic piece off that this fits into and put it directly on the headband and not have to deal with the Velcro. That would have made this thing a step up. But from there, everything on this thing works great. When we look at the Perun 2, when I first pulled this guy out, I was like, holy crap, this is a big light. And I'm not sure that's what I want to wear. It might look funny here with this top piece, but it doesn't feel like I have anything on for the most part. If I turn it on Firefly mode, it's there. I'm adjusting it again in silicone, but it adjusts and stays in place a ton easier. Maybe because it's larger, maybe because the silicone's a little bit better. You're paying more money for it. You're getting a lot more on it as far as, you know, the high vis sides and things like that. And you're getting a proximity sensor. So if this thing is bright and you bring it in, let me see if I can pull that off here. It's on turbo. If I bring this in, see it goes down to basically low. If I get real close, it'll go down to Firefly. And then if I go away, it gets brighter again. I hope that shows up on camera because it is an awesome feature of what you have in this light. And the 21700 battery that's 4 amp hour just gives this light. I mean, I charge it once a week if I use it 2 hours a day. I mean, it's that good. So I like that. It's a little bit heavier. So for the guy who's going to use this on the job site every day, I can see it. For the guy who's going to work underneath his car and do different things, I like it because this piece that goes over the top actually helps keep everything in place. I mean, it's not moving. Everything's great. What I see most people do from what I've started looking is the hat with a light on the front. I can see it. You just take your little light, put it up here. We'll go on Firefly mode on this. And then here you go. You got your light. You barely know it's there. It's on the front of your hat. I'm not a big fan of it, especially when I'm out walking at night. I don't know why. That light's a little further out. I can't see everything around. But I can adjust this pretty easy. Turn it on turbo. I mean, there's, you know, everything's in front of me, the battery sensor. So there's other options for small lights. I believe this is an Olight S1R Baton 2. Very nice little light, works great. Fits on a hat well. Also has a magnet so it'll stand straight up, but it's not adjustable. So if you want it to aim more down so you can see cracks in the sidewalk or wherever, if you're underneath a car and you want to see lower so you can work with your hands above your chest rather than over top of your head, it doesn't work. It doesn't adjust well. Just little nuances that I've found trying to switch between all of these. And it's been super interesting to me to first start out and say, what would I buy? Because that's one of the ways I try to go at these videos. And in this case, if I had to choose only one, I would spend the $89.99 and just have this guy as my only one because I love the MCC charging where I just pop the cable on, 2 amp charging. I love the runtime of this guy. But if I was kind of on the edge and saying, I'm going to use this once a month, this $29.99 is a deal. Absolute deal. For the guy who's hardly going to use it, this is a great light, good runtime. It's so what, you got to deal with the USB micro. Just leave the thing plugged in, unplug it when you're ready to use it, no issue. Everything's here. Just know that you want to make sure that this is on tight, which is not a big deal either, and you're ready to rock and roll. So you kind of have a group of the spectrum here as to low cost, more tactical, higher cost, more options, and you're going to kind of fit somewhere in between. But most of you are going to say, I don't need headlamps, but I'm going to tell you, like some of my subscribers told me, you got to try a headlamp. You really do. And there might be more out there to be offered. I will check them out and try to get them upwards with you guys. If you wear hard hats, I'm not sure how these would fit or work. If you wear a hard hat with a Velcro patch or put on a Velcro patch on the front, this guy would work awesome. However it goes, love doing this stuff. I love to learn more about what's out there, and I'm going to keep doing that with these. It takes me time to use them, so I want to make sure that I've got a month under my belt of using each one to try to find their intricacies. I love doing these videos for you guys. Thank you for all the support. Please give us a thumbs up on this video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thanks for your time. Have a great day.